It's Fred Burrow with Swift Plumbers doing a leak detection service here in Rotunda. There's the address for the service we're completing today. We're doing a video record for insurance purposes. And the insurance adjuster was out here and noticed the water meter moving. As you can tell, the little spinner right there to the left of the dial is not moving at this time. We've got all the water on except for the cold water to the kitchen. You can see I've got the main valve on. This customer has a manabloc PEX pipe. They used a 3/8 PEX pipe on many of these lines, which we don't recommend, and these seldom leak. Most likely when they leak it's due to plumber's error. Right here I'm going to shut off their kitchen cold, or turn their kitchen back on. It was off. See, that's off with the pipe it's on. When we turn this back on and I walk over here to the meter, you're going to notice that we are now moving. We have a leak going now. I shut it off and it stops it. So we know it's the kitchen cold line simply by that. Now we're going to go back over here to the manabloc and I'll show what else I've discovered using the leak detection equipment. Now, because they're not a metallic line, we cannot trace the line. But we'll show you what happens when we do a digital reading on it. The sound you hear is me doing an electronic reading. You can hear it running. Now I'm going to go across over here to the kitchen sink, and you'll see at the same setting it'll be much louder, as we've noticed in the leak detection. That leak's going to be in that PEX line right here going up to the cabinet. Water was showing up on the lanai. Water will travel the path of least resistance, and you can physically hear it running down here right at that valve. When we use our electronic equipment to it, it's muting it because it's so loud. We'll have to actually turn down the volume. That's the sound of your leak running through them foams. Now we cannot trace this line out because it's non-metallic, as I'd mentioned. But you can clearly hear this leak right here. No water is showing up to the surface around here. Most of these lines will be put in the attic whenever you run a manabloc. What this builder obviously chose to do is run the hot and cold over to this kitchen underground. And we'll go across here and we can see no water on the floor whatsoever. But when we walk right out here to the lanai, where the house drops down, we had water coming out. Right over here, and also across this way, and over into this area. Water was coming out. So it filled up under the slab, and then the path of least resistance was the lower area here in the lanai. But as I said before, the resolution is to shut this water off for now. They do have the insurance company involved. This is what we're dealing with, not an easy way to reroute the pipe. We're talking about dropping down from the attic, going through a crossover with a new cold line from the manabloc in the garage. Now there will be vertical, horizontal 2x4 there also, so they will have some drywall work to get done on top of the plumbing estimate. We'll go to this other side in the living room and show off that wall. And there's a column. So what they've done with this is they've made that where it's not an island, but because of the big plant shelf, that's the reason they originally ran it underground and not put it through a column or in through a wall. This is my suggested path. Otherwise, we can break through here to attempt to repair. The problem with breaking through over in this area is the fact that the customer does not have any extra tile. They will most certainly not match this tile. So my recommendation is to not cut out the bottom of the cabinet and even attempt to repair there, as there's not a lot of room to get down here and repair. But is to actually go through and reroute the line to be sure that the damage is limited. There will be a drain line underneath here, a hot line, a cold line. You need quite a bit of room to work. You can see there's sinks, not a standard sink. You'd have to uninstall everything, cut open the cabinet, and hope not to break any tile in the process. No guarantee that you won't break the tile. That's my recommendations. You'll see how I temporarily, going back just like at the beginning of the video, I told you I'm going to temporarily stop this customer from having a leak. This will shut down the noise. We go over to the manabloc and we go over to the kitchen cold, the sink. Even with the pipe, it is off. Put that clip back for the customer. Go out to the water meter and confirm yet again that we have indeed stopped this leak. We'll furnish a quote to reroute that pipe or to break through the slab at the customer's choice. Swift Plumbers.